Hey guys, I wanted to do a quick video kind of going over the story and the stuff that we would have talked about if I was here in your class on Monday or Tuesday. So what I'm going to do is kind of go through the story and stop and talk about some of the questions that were built into it. So first here, it had you highlight examples of doors and doorways from the story, and it asked you what a door or doorway might symbolize. And a door can symbolize, moving from one place to another, right? A doorway, entering into a new place. And, I think that the author uses this motif because Yoni is going up to these people's doors, right? And is kind of entering into their world by asking them these questions about their wishes. So, the wishes kind of are a doorway into someone's heart and soul, he thinks, So I think that's why the door motif works so well in the story. The next question asks you to find unusual or informal word choices in paragraph 10 and 11. And so if you notice, a lot of these sentences are very short, hard like that, rapping on his door. And then we have just the way Sergey doesn't like. And if you notice, just the way Sergey doesn't like isn't even actually a complete sentence. It's a sentence fragment. He keeps calling him, earring boy, some kid with a ring in his ear, right? Rapping at his door just the way he doesn't like. So this gives us the informal tone. And these choices develop Sergey's character because he kind of comes off as kind of rude because he's very short with his sentences. He's a little judgmental because he keeps calling him earring boy, right? Like the only thing he cares about him is that he has this earring and he knows everything he wants to just from this fact, right? So he kind of seems rude, not very friendly, okay? As we move down, what do we learn about the goldfish in paragraph 16? Well, this is where we learn that he can talk, right? And so we learn here that he's a magical goldfish. Later we learn that he grants wishes. So what is ironic about this archetypal character appearing in the story? So the goldfish is the archetypal character of, the genie that grants wishes. That is ironic because Jonathan is going around and asking people what they would do if they had 3 wishes, right? So he goes to this guy's house to ask him what he would do if he had 3 wishes, and he has no idea that this guy has a goldfish that gave him 3 wishes, right? So this is an example of dramatic irony. We know something that Yoni doesn't. We know that this guy has a magical fish, Yoni does not, right? So that would be what's ironic about that character being here. As we move down, the advice that the fish gives him. He tells him that he's got a wish left. And so this is when Sergey has killed Jonathan and the goldfish is like, you still have a wish left, man. And so the goldfish words tell us that him and Sergey are friends. They've known each other for a long time, right? They've been together for a long time. We know that he's had this wish for a while, right? Sergey even says he's been saving it. This will come important later. Another question. Highlight memories that flow through Sergey's mind. So these are the memories of his previous wishes. He used one wish to save his sister. He used another wish to save a boy whose mom he was in love with, right? So how will these memories affect what he will do next? Well, based on the wishes he did previously that were to help other people, we could say we think he'll help Jonathan. Or we could look at it and say, well, the second wish, that woman broke his heart. So maybe he wishes he hadn't done it. And maybe he doesn't want to save someone with his third wish. So we think he'll be selfish. Right? As we move on, we have another question. It's asking us to highlight a tough question. So the tough question that the goldfish asks him, he says, you killed him, you murdered someone, but you're not a murderer. If on this you won't waste a wish, then what is it good for? So he asks him, if you won't waste a wish to reverse a murder, What is the wish good for, right? And so here again, we're building on that last question. Think about his earlier wishes. Do we think he considers them wasted? And, that's kind of your opinion, right? I definitely don't think he would consider the first one. You can ask yourself if he feels like the second one is a waste or not. Okay, and then we've got the end of the story here, which we'll talk about later. You guys also were supposed to do this check for understanding. Why did Jonathan come to Sergey's door? Of course, he wants to interview him for a documentary. What misunderstanding causes the main problem? Of course, it's that Sergey thinks that Jonathan wants to take the goldfish. Right? And lastly, Sergey does not want to use his last wish because the fish is his only friend. Okay, we learned that. But we do learn that at the end of the story, Sergey does end up using his wish because, right, we see that afterwards, Jonathan continues his quest. He meets this Arab man. And it even says here, he talks about the Russian guy. So if you reread paragraph 41, you'll see that what Sergey did with his last wish is he wished to go back in time and redo his conversation with Jonathan. And instead of being rude, all he says is that if he ever found a talking goldfish, he wouldn't ask it a single thing. He'd stick it on a shelf in a big glass jar and talk to him all day. So he'd be a friend. Anything to not be alone. So, again, sorry I wasn't here. Sorry we couldn't read it together, talk about it together. And that's just kind of a brief overview. I did want to go over those questions, though. Today you're working on this assignment here, so you have 5 analysis questions about the story. You should be answering these in complete sentences. Okay? And do make sure that you use evidence from the text. Maybe I put this in italics for the other classes, right? You've got this section about research. Now, what it wants you to do here is to compare Carrot's story. This is the author, right? So, this is the story we read, the goldfish story. And over here, we're going to compare it to traditional tales. So, fables that we know, like a Little Red Riding Hood, or whatever it might be. So first, how are talking animals used? So you'll talk about how talking animals are used in the goldfish story, and then how they're used in traditional fables and folk tales that you know. And you'll do the same for the rule of 3. Now the rule of 3 in fables and folk tales says that everything should come in threes. So you think about 3 blind mice, right? 3 pigs, Goldilocks and the 3 bears, right? But also think about wishes. Always 3 wishes, right? Everything should come in threes. So how does the goldfish story use the rule of 3? How do traditional tales use it? I kind of just gave you those answers. So that's your reward for listening to me, I guess. Then you're going to write a fable. This should be 2 to 3 paragraphs. I should add this on here. Write around 1 page. 3 paragraphs should be good. Beginning, middle, end, right? So you're going to write a fable with an archetypal character, okay? And you want to use dialogue, maybe some talking animals. So you're writing a fable to teach a lesson about life using an archetypal character. It doesn't have to be one of the archetypes from the goldfish story. It could be, okay? So that is your work for today, for Wednesday or Thursday. And then you have this homework that is due when your next class starts with me. So this will either be Monday or Tuesday at class time. So in the second part, you've got a vocab section. You have this section about tone, where you're going to write 2 versions of a paragraph. One where you use a formal tone, one where you use an informal tone. Okay, so same paragraph, 2 versions. And you'll kind of see how your writing works both ways. Now, you guys will notice here, I took a section out. If you are someone in my Monday class, I took a section out here. It's still in your assignment. You don't have to do it. You can backspace it if you'd like. And I guess this is another reward you get for watching my full video, because some of your classmates won't, and they will end up doing more work than you. So, shout out to you for listening. Anyways, guys, take care, and I will see you Monday.